Good afternoon, everybody. There's been a lot of talk since what happened to Juice the other day in CatalinaFoothills. So I just wanted to give out some information on public easements, law, and also First Amendment rights. This is an explanation of what law actually says about easements, police authority, and and the statement that was issued by the Pima County Union. A public easement is legally treated as a public space, which means anyone standing on it has full First Amendment rights. Being on the easement is legal. The only time it becomes a potential issue is if part of the body or equipment is actually in the roadway, even a few inches, because that can technically be cited as a pedestrian in the roadway violation or possibly obstructing traffic. But even then, officers must apply the law consistently and cannot enforce it selectively. Your First Amendment rights are clear. You can record police, you can stand on a public easement, you can document what's happening as long as you're not interfering or creating a safety hazard. What police cannot do is force you to stop recording, demand ID without reasonable suspicion, or move you off a public easement simply because they don't like you being there and filming. Selective enforcement is unconstitutional. Police cannot enforce laws differently based on who you are, whether you're recording, or whether they're irritated by the presence of your cameras. If the same behavior is allowed for some people, but punished for others, that violates equal protection and First Amendment protections as well. In this particular case with Juice, the 1-hour detention that occurred wasn't legally justified. A detention is supposed to be brief, usually within a 15-minute window, long enough to confirm or rule out a suspected violation. When officers hold someone for approximately 1 hour while they're trying to figure out what law to use, that shows that they didn't have reasonable suspicion at the onset of the investigation when they came out to the scene. They responded to a 911 call that was not actually anything other than somebody who was not violating anything at all, and especially his First Amendment rights. Courts have repeatedly ruled that extended detentions without a clear investigative purpose are unreasonable and unconstitutional. The union also posted something. The union post that circulated that evening has caused a lot of speculation, especially with the live streamers. I think there might have been a little bit of misunderstanding with that. The statement claiming that deputies responding to 911 calls in the CatalinaFoothills must issue a citation or make an arrest was a blanket rule, and blanket rules like that are illegal. Police cannot predetermine the outcome before they even know what the call is about. Every 911 call is different. Some are medical, some are accidental, some involve no crime at all. Officers are required to use discretion, and the Constitution does not allow automatic enforcement. The union post was not directed at the streamers. It was the deputies' union publicly criticizing Sheriff Nanos. And if you see the actual statement that was put out, and I'm going to try to post that with this article, it says on the bottom that this is why they are unhappy with the sheriff. So this was not supposed to be meant for the streamers to even see. And it was, again, not directed for them. But put together, it means this. Standing on an easement and recording is fully protected by the First Amendment. Stepping into the roadway can technically be cited, but cannot be enforced selectively. The long detention wasn't justified, and the union's blanket statement about mandatory citations and arrest was legally impossible. The union was calling out the sheriff's department, not issuing a rule to the public. At the end of the day, the law is simple. Public easements are public. The First Amendment protects recording. Police cannot enforce laws selectively. And detentions must be lawful and limited. No union post, no internal dispute, and no frustration inside the department can override the Constitution. The public has rights, and those rights don't disappear because someone calls 911, or because a camera makes an officer uncomfortable, or because a neighbor doesn't particularly like you on their street. The law applies the very same way every time to every individual, and when it doesn't, that's when accountability begins. So that is basically what I wanted to put out there. Your legal rights to a public easement. You have legal rights to your First Amendment. Illegal detention and being obtained longer than necessary, it's not tolerable. And I believe that people need to read further into this as far as what their rights are and understanding. And we also sometimes have to not jump to conclusions. And I know when that union post came out, we all kind of panicked and thought this was directed at the live streamers. It was actually a slap in the face to the sheriff's department. So anyway, I will find the actual notification that came out from the union and post that with this. And I hope you all have a great day.